today to talk about the Hamilton and Grimsby market update, and we've got special guest Abdellah here to talk about that from Revel Realty.
We're going to run down a few different items today, talk about some movement month over month on the rental rates. I think we are seeing a bit of a shift or some minor changes on the rental side. We're going to talk about a couple of off-market opportunities. So ready when you are, let's jump right in.
Welcome back to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I'm JD Martin, your host today, and I'm recording here in the desert in Las Vegas, which is pretty cool. But we came here today to talk about the Hamilton and Grimsby market update, and we've got special guest Abdellah here to talk about that from Revel Realty. So Revel Realty covers Hamilton and Grimsby. I'm excited to talk about those markets and see what updates you have for us this month.
Yes, sir. Adam, appreciate it. Always nice to connect here on a monthly basis. Your weather pattern looks a lot nicer than ours, even though ours is cleaned up a little bit over here. So, yeah, super excited to be back. We're going to run down a few different items today, talk about some movement month over month on the rental rates, and we're going to make that a constant going forward. I think we are seeing a bit of a shift or some minor changes on the rental side. And I know we were talking kind of off camera earlier, and obviously the level of importance behind that, right? When putting together a projection or pro forma, right? With these multi-unit conversions. As always, we're going to talk about a couple of off-market opportunities. One, a 3-unit, one, a 3 to 4 unit, depending on your appetite and capital. And then a recent acquisition with a bit of a twist in terms of looking into the future, if you will, without having a crystal ball. So ready when you are, let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's go for it. I know we've been talking on the channel a fair bit about rental rates and how the impact of that does actually play a huge role in your projections. It's not always purchase price, right? It's the revenue that we can generate on an asset as well. So really excited to get into that.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's when we chat with investors here, and we like to think we execute very well, as a white glove service, from acquisition to planning to construction, right to the leasing. And most of the times, I think if not all the time, the projection in rents and how you position those is going to make or break the deal to an extent, right? Obviously, the acquisition, the construction budget, the time of construction are vital points. And I think that the leasing side of it gets overlooked, and that's where we're just fortunate that the amount of investors that we're grateful to deal with. We've leased out an extraordinary amount of units in partnership with our good friends at Total Property Solutions. So want to make this kind of a constant going forward. So looking here, so we're pulling these rental market trends from Sumper, which as most of it's a very reputable rental platform, kind of synonymous with rentals.ca as well. Both great platforms. So if we're talking about the last 30 days, there's been a slight uptick in 1 beds, slight downticks in the 2 to 3 bed section, an uptick in the 4 bed section. I would have a bit of a kind of a theory around that, and then actually down 5% month over month for bachelor studio units. And even going year over year there in the far right column, we're down 12% for 4 beds, which to me, you're not usually analyzing 4-bed units when it comes to the multi side. The odd time that you are, and we're down even more on the studio side with bachelors, which makes sense to me, especially in Hamilton. Can't speak for all municipalities, but those are the 2 least consistent unit mixes, if you will. So I would, and going back to the 4-bedroom there in terms of the last 4 days, the last 30 days, it's up 4%. Starting to see this a little bit more, especially with a large multi-unit conversion that we executed with our friends at 555 Construction down in the lower west end of Hamilton, where it was a 5,000 square foot floor plan with a carriage house. And we had I wouldn't say challenge, but the opportunity, of course, to lease out for these amazing clients of ours. The one unit was 3,800 square feet, right? 4 bedrooms. These are the anomalies. And even though it took a while, and we anticipated they're not rookies by any stretch of the imagination, and they understand. And we ended up seeing four tenants in their 30s come together as friends and rent out the space. Not the first time, not the last time. There's definitely a trend starting to happen. I'm not splitting the atom here by any stretch of the imagination, but a bit of a theory around that. But again, I think we're going to really shine the light on these rental rate trends in Hamilton, because again, in some cases could make or break, at least, put you in a position where that cash flow is not where you thought it was, right? So, that's why you reach out to the local experts. We are very well versed on the leasing side. Again, we have our property management partners that we deal with as well, but all of our agents are very versed in that section. So, a lot to think about there for sure. And then jumping into a couple off-market opportunities. This one more recent. Guys, we're always trying to, bring you, some opportunities that aren't normally found on the market. This one will eventually come to market, but a wonderful opportunity with a 1,400 square foot floor plan of upgrade. A roughly 700 square foot unit in the basement with good ceiling height and a rear walkout, and basically a car and a half garage. As you can see in the picture there, it might look small, but it does go kind of double the length. R1 zoning, your holy grail, 51 by 100 lot. Tons of parking, as you see there. You can fit 4 cars or 4 larger cars. So this one is available off market for $630,000. You have a potential ARV here of almost $1 million, realistically, and that's going off of some real data that we've produced from other triplex conversions we've been a part of that has included that garage style ADU. So some great numbers on that one. This one as well. This is a bare minimum 3-unit conversion. The nice thing about this one, you can see the kind of discrepancy in the value itself is this one's already set up as 3 units. Okay. It does have a rear fire escape as well. So you've got 2 units in the left portion of the home there, and above the garage. So you're about 2,300 square feet above grade. The garage has got nice high ceilings, easy bachelor unit. The basement's already set up as a large 2-bed. Just definitely needs a bit of touch on the construction side. But again, rare kind of offering. These don't really come up on the market, or we just are fortunate again to gravitate towards these opportunities, whether it's or vice versa. So couple solid projects, one that needs kind of less work than the other, but both with kind of fruitful outcomes. So another exciting one there that we've got available off market for any interested investors. Obviously, reach out to us directly, leave us a comment below, and we'll gladly get back to you guys. And then jumping lastly into a recent acquisition. Super proud of this one for some close friends and repeat investors. So this one's on the West Mountain, top-notch area, huge lot, 75 by 167 lot, so 13,000 square foot lot, plus or minus with the kind of mental math there. This one is currently zoned for 3 units, so it's actually already a legal duplex, separate hydro meters, separate gas meters. So it's a small cosmetic lift in the 2 main units, and then that garage to the left, which has super high ceilings, will be turned into a vaulted bachelor unit. Eventually, we'll build out the basement when the zoning eventually kind of transitions. Tons of parking there, parking up to 6 cars. And the beauty thing about this, knowing what we know and with our team, with Deck Inc. and 555 Construction and the communication they have in particular with the city and kind of being where, trying to be visionaries of sort and kind of looking into the future a little bit, because we've seen the C and D zonings in Hamilton transition into the R1, R1A. And we caught on to that, before most, if not all. And we definitely see the ability here to eventually do a 5th and 6th unit by way of detached ADUs in the rear. Definitely some ways down the road. But I think ultimately, and boldly said, that I think the writing's on the wall, but super excited about this project and where it's going to go once we close on it in a few months.
That's fantastic. It's great to see so many off-market opportunities, and then obviously like a real case study here. I have a question actually about the previous properties, those triplex conversions. Like, what do you think an average project like that is going to cost in terms of the actual inputs?
Yeah, for sure, Adam. Yeah, always. We've done enough of these that we can definitely give a confident range. So a basement of, going back to this, the off-market one on East 31st, that basement with that square footage and our pricing, but our pricing comes with high-level execution. You're looking at 130 to 150, let's say, with the basement. Keep in mind, we're in and out of these projects, in 12 to 16 weeks. The garage is essentially going to be about the same price point there. Keep in mind trenching of the services, which is one of the major costs there in that conversion. So you're looking upwards of 260 to 300 in terms of converting that. So if we're going to run, keep in mind that upper unit, which is your lion's share, it's going to run about, we have it projected here about 26 plus utilities. We've actually sold and converted 2 other properties on this street. So, knowing the rents inside out, thankfully, basically nothing to do upstairs, but put in in-suite laundry and a bit of a cleanup, and then deploying all your capital to the basement and the garage, right? You're looking at an ARV, again, in this particular interest rate climate, of about $1 million. All right. And that's not some figure we're pulling out of thin air as well. Obviously, keep in mind, we know where rates are going this year. And if we are hopeful to get upwards of 75 basis points on the reduction by the end of the year, we all know kind of how that inverse math works. So, even though, and we always going to be, forthcoming, even though these might not look the sexiest out of the gate, right? These are super stable conversions and assets in high quality areas. We got to always keep that in mind, right? And you'll see that with the rents that we project. We do most of our conversions on the mountain. Not that we're not versed down the mountain as well, because that's where you get your kind of more or your better kind of 3 to 4 unit conversions, or more 4 unit conversions, I would say. But the mountain, you're getting a lot of that R1, R1A zoning. So that one, those are kind of the rough numbers on that one. This one here on East 43rd is a completely different ball game. Basically, your 2 units comprised of the left side of the house and over top of the garage. You're very minimal there. Some fire separation, in-suite laundry in one of the units, and a bit of a cleanup. Same thing, basically. The basement's already got in-suite laundry. It's completely set up. That would be just kind of a fire separation mostly, and some other planning items, and going from there. And then essentially just driving all your capital into the garage. So this one's definitely less capital intensive, but does have, more of a density opportunity. So, we look at things, we're not just looking at capital intensive projects, right? We like to find these where, and especially with the case study, that's another prime example of, okay, we've got 2 units across 2,000 square feet, both 2-bed units, shooting fish in a barrel at that point, right? And you're half first and last before your first mortgage payment comes up, right? So $4,200 for the main, $4,600 for the upper. You're cruising for a few months, right? And with our partners at Deck and 555. That garage is 12 to 16 week project, and you're basically never out of pocket. You're never out of pocket. This is, I can't stress enough, right? It's like, I'm biased to our team because this is about 11 years of experience here, but we're very passionate about saving people money, right? Me saving money on the real estate side, of course, trying to get the best deal possible, but getting our planning done concurrently, right? We use clauses that allows us to go in there and basically, I would say 90% of the time, maybe almost at a 100% success rate, depending on the seller, we have those permits in hand at the same time you get your keys in hand. Like, it's very well orchestrated. We're not the type that'll take on more than, kind of bite off more than we can chew. But that's just, we take pride in the execution, and obviously couldn't have a better team around me, right? I mean, I'm a, we're all big parts of it in our own regard, for sure. But we're really, especially these type of projects here like Stone Church, they're not like a dime a dozen, but I think a lot of people shy away from them because they're already configured, right? And what we know about planning and execution, these tend to fly under the radar. This one was tenanted, and we were fortunate enough to obtain vacant possession as well. And that all just comes with aligning yourself with a local expert.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Abdellah. I think people sometimes don't think of already purpose built, or like maybe not purpose built, but like buildings that have already been separated into multiple units, and they don't think like, man, I could just add another unit to this. But the value in doing that is so extraordinary when you look at the rents that you can capture and what it does to the actual value of the property. So yeah, I really love those points, and I'm glad that you guys are bringing like real deals here, because that's, again, the spirit of this channel, right? It's real people doing real things. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we like to think that we do things kind of a little differently, in a sense where it's just like at Revel and kind of the business model that we operate on the agency side. It's quality over quantity, right? Yeah. So real estate, we all know, right? It's a drawn out game, and we're here for the long run. So
yeah, I really appreciate that, man. Well, thank you so much for your insight today on the Hamilton market, and I'm really excited to see what else we can see as well in Grimsby in the future. So I know you guys are really building out there. So if people are looking to do business with you, like, obviously they can reach out to you if they have deals there as well. So that's exciting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Grimsby. Yeah, we're just kind of ramping it up in terms of presence. So we're doing some community events this summer, and as well up at our Hamilton Mountain location on concession. So yeah, slowly but surely we'll be kind of combining it all and delivering some more information here.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And guys, if you're not already subscribed, please get subscribed, because we're back here every single month with these updates. And you see why today you got to be here for these. You got to be here every month, because we're bringing off-market deals to you. How fantastic is that? We're looking at real numbers, real case studies, and real opportunities where you can jump in. And like Abdellah said, his team's doing it all, right? They're doing the work. They have all the answers for the questions that you have. So feel free to reach out, and again, just get subscribed so you know when to come back for these videos. Cheers.